What's going on, everybody? Matt here with Maximum Beverage. We're in our West Hartford store and we're talking Thanksgiving wine pairings. When we're talking pairing wine and food, we need to get some food. So I went over to our friends at Blue Plate Kitchen next door, got myself their turkey dinner. It is awesome. Kevin, come over here, man. You gotta check this out. I've already gotten into it. I couldn't help myself. Look at that. Got our turkey, a little gravy, stuffing, gotta have the stuffing, mashed potatoes, and a beautiful popover. Probably not gonna have that at your Thanksgiving. The restaurant, you might. A little cranberry sauce to tie it all together. Awesome. This is, at least in my opinion, the greatest holiday of the year. You get an extra day off from work. Our store's closed, so we always get to celebrate with our family. And we get to drink a ton of wine and eat a giant meal, watch some football, take a nap. To me, it's the best thing going. So we got 6 wines that are gonna pair tremendously with your turkey feast. So let's get started with our first wine, what I think is an underrated part of Thanksgiving, something more of you should be doing. You need to be drinking more sparkling wine on Thanksgiving. And we're not just talking champagne, we're not talking Prosecco, we're somewhere in the middle. We're in the white space here, and we're talking about a little bubbly out of the Loire Valley called the Joe Lantern Atmospheres. A blend of 80% Fol Blanche and 20% Pinot Noir. 100% biodynamic. When we talk biodynamic, we're talking about harvesting when the moon is right. You gotta look it up. If you wanna understand what biodynamic is, that's next level. Organic is baby steps compared to biodynamic. Let's get into the wine. On the nose, we got some kind of creme brulee custard notes, a little lemon, a little apple, really kind of a pretty nose. This is an interesting wine. In the front, you get like Granny Smith, almost a little lemon zest. In the finish, you get those really kind of, those creamy notes, a little bit of yeastiness, which I love. I think that's a tremendous flavor. You get that kind of yeastiness in things like Krug for, $180. This right here for 20 bucks. This is a great wine. One of the things that's really important is that when you eat your turkey, your meal, and you're drinking your wine, that they pair nicely. Not one overpowers the other. Sometimes you get a wine that's too big, too expressive, and just blows the food away, or you get this kind of weak wine, you're drinking a big steak with a nice demi-glace or something on there, and you got a little light Pinot Gris. The two don't go hand in hand. This, tremendous pairing. All right, on to the next one. Next wine we got the Brooks Amicus White Table Blend. These guys are out of the Willamette Valley in Oregon. So this is a blend of, let's see here, 30% Pinot Blanc, 28% Riesling, 17% Muscat, 15% Gewürztraminer, and 10% Pinot Gris. So really going Alsatian. This is a true Alsatian blend here. Now this is a wine for someone that is looking for something that has a ton of fruit. If you're a Pinot Gris drinker, if you like Gewürztraminer, if you're into the Rieslings but you don't like them sweet, you like a really dry Riesling, this is the wine for you. It's got that honeysuckle nose. That Riesling really comes through. Even like a slight creaminess on the nose there. It's really nice. Kind of roasted apricots almost. Really, really beautiful. What's interesting about a wine like this, and I like to say this a lot, and I don't know, some people sometimes don't get my drift, but if you've ever had gummy bears and had the clear gummy bear, these kind of Alsatian blends exhibit literally clear gummy bear notes all over. That, to me, that's my childhood, eating those clear gummy bears. That was my favorite part, opening up that package of gummy bears, finding that clear one. I mean, it's exactly what you're looking for. Apricot, you got a little bit of apple in there, a little apple notes, touch of lemon, some kind of, again, more like roasted fruits, even like a little apple, almost a little apple pie, because it's got again, that one has a nice creamy finish. Tremendous wine. If you're looking for something that's really fruity, not a ton of minerality in this wine, but definitely has a lot of like expressive fruit notes. Beautiful. All right, our next wine from Marnon Winery. This is called Doria. It's out of Luberon, which is in Provence, in the Rhone region. This is a blend you'll find in here, Grenache Blanc, Roussanne, pretty typical of the Rhone area. Now this wine retailing right around 14, 15 bucks. You're looking for some nice minerality here, a little different than the previous wine, which had really, intense fruit notes because you have that Riesling. This one you're going to see is going to be a little bit drier, and will really kind of pair well, what I think, with your kind of gravies, your stuff that's a little less sweet, the turkey. Maybe go really good with that stuffing. Let's get into the wine. So really, a lot of minerality in this one. Almost kind of some steely notes in there. Kind of graphite, which is kind of interesting for a white wine. Definitely a little apple, a lot of lemon, and you even get on the nose, you're getting a little kind of coconut with a little lemon, a little apple, and definitely tons of minerality, a little salinity even, which is real nice. This is a cool wine. I don't know if you're into Rhone, not into Rhone, this is the wine to try. Really kind of a great depth of character on this wine. Something that for 15, 16 bucks is a steal. All right, so we're done with the whites. We're gonna get to the reds. So next wine, Zin 91. It's an old vine Zin. It's really a fun wine. Something I haven't seen since we were 7, 8 years ago. Across the street at the old .com wines, if some of you remember that. This wine just came back on the scene. We loved it, the 2013 vintage. We really jumped all over it. This is a nice Zin, not, if I recall, super jammy. Let's get into it. Really nice fruit on the nose. A little tobacco there. A little mocha on the nose. Actually, tons of mocha, almost like cocoa powder. Lots of, again, a lot of mocha, more cocoa in the mouth. Nice berry. A little bit of that tobacco flavor, a little smoke. That's probably from the oak. You get a little bit of vanilla. This is a really just easy drinking Zin. Not overly complicated, not super a lot of depth, but really just a good at $13, $14. Just something you can an everyday Zin that you'll get tons of enjoyment out of, and something that will pair really great with the kind of rich turkey, your gravies. You got any of those rich squash dishes, or potato with tons of garlic and cheese on it, which I love. So that's a great little value there. I've actually featured this in the past, and I know that our customers were all over it. So definitely a great wine for Thanksgiving. Something you'll be drinking throughout the day and into the night. Now we're going a little better, a little deeper, a little ballsier, I'll say, with a little Malbec. So this is from Zorzal. This is the Zorzal Grand Terroir Collection, their Malbec. This is the 2012. These guys have been producing they're a small winery. They're producing tremendous values. We've had their Pinot Noir, we featured that. We've done the Sauvignon Blanc. Now we're really stepping up the game. We're talking about a $27 Malbec. A lot of you Malbec drinkers out there don't get into the $27 range. A lot of you kind of stay 13, 14. I just had someone come in the store earlier today. I went for a $15 Malbec. He's like, I'm thinking value. He wanted to go 10 bucks. So this is really, you're really stepping up the game here when you mess with a $28 Malbec. So when we jump from that Zin up to this Malbec, we're talking a total change in the game here. Really kind of even on the nose, you just get a complete balance of structure. Those $14 Zins, that's one thing. This is really, oh man. Again, this has a good amount of cocoa too, but really a lot of that red berry shines through. A little spice on the nose. All right, let's get into it. Like in that previous Zin, what you didn't get, which is what a lot of wines in the inexpensive under $15 range lack, is real good tannin. For a Malbec, this has tons of excellent tannins that give it great structure. You get tons of layers of different fruit. Strawberry, a lot of blackberry, a little bit of mint, eucalyptus, or a little more eucalyptus. You get that out of the oak. You get tons on the back, and you even get a little bit of orange zest that's in there, like just a hint. If you want to pair a great wine, staying away from Pinot Noir. By the way, I don't have any Pinot Noirs here. You want to stay away from the Pinot Noir, go with great structure, you know, stay away from the jammy zins, do something that's really over the top. This is it right here. The Zorzal Grand Terroir. Love this. Really good. Awesome. Actually, this is pretty limited too, so I wouldn't, if you're interested in this, I wouldn't wait. I think we only got like 10 cases. All right, last wine. I did this last because I didn't want to crush the Zorzal. It's really an old standard for us, something we've been killing it since day one. The Petite Petite from Michael David. Petite Petite meaning 85% Petite Syrah and 15% Petite Verdot. So we go from the Zin to the Malbec. Now we step our game up to something that's really, I mean, really coats your glass. It's like ink on your glass. Literally, if I hold this up, you can see I'm purple through that glass right there. It really sticks to it. Not that that's a measure of the quality of the wine, but definitely dark, rich color, super extracted, over extracted. That's their style though, that's Michael David. That's what they do. They don't do anything mild or medium. They're over extracted, not over extracted, I mean super extracted. I wouldn't say over extracted, but their style's super extracted. Every time we do a tasting here, they kill it. On the nose, a ton of vanilla, a little bit of eucalyptus, a lot of even blueberry. Nice nose, big nose in this wine. This one's no joke. Now when we're contrasting two wines, this has nice tannin. Nothing like the Zorzal, but it really is kind of super over the top in your mouth. Really kind of blows your palate away. If you're having a, you know, kind of a really rich Thanksgiving dinner, lots of butter, lots of fats, maybe do something with a little bacon on it, this will pair really well. Wow, it's got a lot of blueberry, which I like. I think that's tremendous. A lot of blueberry, some strawberry, blackberry, kind of like that. If you were doing a red berry pie, this is red berry pie in a glass. Good finish. Finish just kind of tails off a little bit, but this is a really excellent wine. I'm surprised that more people don't know about this and more people don't drink it, but we crush it over here. So I love the Petite Petite. Do the Petite Petite. I think one of the most important things is find wines that are going to pair well with what you're having for the day. You can enjoy with your family, have a tremendous time. Come by the store. Subscribe to our YouTube page, please. That would be awesome. We'd appreciate that. Kevin, my guy over here, has been filming me the whole time. Would love it. Again, follow us on Instagram, Maximum Bev, and on Twitter, @MaximumBev. You can follow us on Facebook this time, but only this time. Don't, after next video, don't follow us. And then, cheers. Have a great Thanksgiving. We'd love to see you. West Hartford, Farmington, Maximum Beverage. Cheers.